Dear students, now I am going to present a lecture on the topic structure of GST. Structure of GST or dual model. GST shall be implemented in India on a dual structure basis. That is, the center and the states shall have concurrent powers to levy, collect and administer GST. In India, we can see dual model of GST. Both central government as well as state governments levy taxes on supply of goods or services within the state or outside the state. The proposed GST system shall have two components: central goods and services tax and state goods and services tax or union territory goods and services tax. The central GST and the state GST would be levied simultaneously on every transaction of supply of goods or services or both, except the exempt supplies and the transaction which are below the prescribed threshold limits. Next, we shall know about dual model of GST include what? Number 1, CGST. In brief, it is called as Central Goods and Services Tax. GST levied by the center on intrastate supply of goods or services or both would be called the central GST. If you analyze this, you can come to the conclusion that if any goods are supplied within the state, if any goods or services supplied within the state upon which central government levy tax, that tax is called as central GST. Central GST. In short, it is called as CGST. Next, number 2. SGST. In brief, it is called as State Goods and Services Tax. State Goods and Services Tax. GST levied by the states on intra-state supply of goods or services or both would be called the state GST. If you analyze this, you can come to the conclusion that not only central government levy tax on supply of goods or services within the state, but also state government also levy tax on supply of goods or services within the state. Both central as well as state government levy taxes on supply of goods or services within the state. State under the GST law is defined to include a union territory with the legislature. In case of union territory with the legislature, for example, Delhi, Pondicherry and Jammu and Kashmir, in that union territory also we can see levy of SGST. In Uttar Pradesh, SGST is named as UPGST. In Karnataka, is named as Karnataka GST. In Rajasthan, it is named as Rajasthan GST. And the same way in all other states. These are some information relating to point number 2, SGST. Number 3, UTGST. In brief, it is called as Union Territory Goods and Services Tax. on every supply of goods or services or both within the Union territories of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Dadra and Nagar and Haveli, and Daman and Diu, Chandigarh, Ladakh, Union Territory GST will be levied. In case if any goods are supplied within the premises of within the Union Territory, both the central government as well as Union Territory, both central government as well as Union Territory levy taxes. Next, number 4, IGST. In brief, it is called as Integrated Goods and Services Tax. On every interstate supply of goods or services or both, integrated GST, IGST, will be levied and collected by center. If you analyze this, you can come to the conclusion that IGST levied on interstate supply of goods or services, goods sold outside the state. Understand? IGST shall be apportioned between the center and the states in the manner as may be provided in due course by the GST Council. On the recommendation of GST Council, IGST apportioned between the central and state government. Next, number 5, import of goods or services or both. Import of goods or services or both shall be treated as interstate supply and would be liable to IGST. If any goods imported into India, then it is considered as interstate supply upon which IGST levied. Since GST is a destination-based consumption tax, IGST on imports shall be levied and collected by the state in which goods or services or both are finally consumed or used. ಏನು ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಆಮದುಗೊಂಡಿವೆ, ಆ ಆಮದುಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಯಾವ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಪಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನುಭೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಪಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು IGST ಅನ್ನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. IGST on goods imported into India shall be levied and collected in accordance with the provisions of Section 3 of the Customs Tariff Act 1975 at the point when duties of customs are levied on the said goods under Section 12 of the Customs Act 1961. Next, point number 6. Export of goods or services or both. Export will be zero rated. Export will be treated as zero rated supplies. Export will be treated as zero rated supplies. No tax will be payable on export of goods or services or both. However, credit of input tax credit will be available and exporter can claim refund of the same. On export of goods, no GST levied. It is treated as zero rated supply. But at the time of export, if the exporter incurs or paid input tax relating to purchase of raw material or purchase of goods relating to export of goods, then input tax paid by the exporter can be claimed as a refund if he files GST return. If he files GST return. ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ GST ಅನ್ನ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಏನು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ರಿಫಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ರಿಫಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ GST ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. GST ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ರಿಫಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್? These are some information relating to structure of GST or dual model of GST introduced in India. Thank you.